got the
Maybe
lead.
the OnlyFans exclusive.
Yeah, it's my first time. My trading career failed, so now I have to start an OnlyFans. You're my first customer.
You YOLO'd all your money away, dude?
Yeah, I bought some oil, so now I'm going to have to be a cam girl. It's the only chance I
have. My man, Pavel, tell the people just a little bit about yourself. And if there's a way we can shift you to your side, that'd be awesome. But tell people where you're coming from. You know, just give them the 2-minute who you are, and let's talk some shit, buddy.
All right, let's do it. 5 seconds, guys. Just gonna make myself look sexy. This is my debut on OnlyFans. After all, I have to take this seriously, you know. All right, guys. Let me tell you why you need to get on my OnlyFans. So I'm a portrait painter, and recently actually began investing, which is how Phil and I met. But as for me, actually, I used to be more of a business guy, and I finished university for marketing. And I
they let you into a university, bro?
Yeah, it's weird, man. I don't know.
That's fucking crazy, dog.
Maybe it's because I bribed them. It's maybe it has something to do with it. But yeah, I had a little business career, but it wasn't very enjoyable to me, and I've always wanted to be an artist. And instead of waiting for that to happen later, I just said, fuck it. And went and moved to California, learned oil painting, got it done, and now balling, arting, living the dream after massive amount of risk taking. As is still the pattern, as you will know.
Oh, absolutely, bro. If you don't want to live like that, you can go fuck yourself. That's YOLO till we die, bro. Yo, I got mad respect for that, man. This is so cool, man. You're going to love this. This is going to be a great conversation. I am still an artist pretending to be a businessman. It's great.
You're pretending well.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious, bro. I'm just like, this is hilarious that I've even made it this far. Okay? Because I literally, all I'd want to be doing really is like telling jokes on stage, thinking of jokes all day, like making some music. Like, that's all that's left for me. Like, after this business thing, like, however that, like, and painting, bro. Like, I love acrylics, dog. That was like my one thing that I really got into in like high school. I painted a bunch of weird shit that probably alarmed my mother, and just that's very exciting to me, and I'd love for you to share with the people, man. Like, how did you make that leap, dude? Like, what was the fuck it moment for you?
I can tell you, it was actually quite a confluence of circumstances where in my marketing job, there was in Las Vegas, there was a trade show. They made me fly to Vegas. And I noticed that there's an art convention that I wanted to visit in LA. And I've never been to an art convention before because I was kind of shy about like wanting to be an artist or something. Because you know what they tell you, oh, you can't make money being an artist. And there was never any point in my life where not having money was at all going to be acceptable, ever. So for the first time ever, I was like, you know, Vegas is only a 45-minute plane ride away from LA. And the way it worked out is I just missed some sleep after that convention, flew to LA, and I attended half the art workshop. And I saw some guys there with their sketchbooks, and I looked at it, and their sketchbook was way more powerful than mine. And I was like, well, how'd you get this good? You guys are as young as me. What's happening? And they said, oh, we go to an art atelier in California. That's when I realized that working on your art after your job is going to get you only so far. Like, I did digital painting since I was 12, and I got pretty sick at digital painting. But you only get about 2 hours of practice after work if you're lucky. And I saw these guys, you know, they're spending all their entire day practicing. Their sketchbook is sick. I only have 2 hours a day if I'm lucky. I can't compete. Like, it's not, the math doesn't add up. Because before the idea is like, oh, I'm going to do my job so I can have food, and then on the weekend I'm just going to become a famous comedian or artist or musician. And I don't know, man. It's the math wasn't looking so good because some other people they're actually doing it full time, and they're going to be more competitive.
They're just
Some
gonna
of them were,
destroy you. It's not even a competition.
yeah. I mean, 2 hours versus to give you an idea. By the time I got to the art atelier in California, I took 16 classes. I was doing 75 hours of art a week, 0 days off. Compare that to fucking 10 hours if I'm lucky of
it's just not going to happen, and it's trivial to think that it would. I think anybody that understands what it takes to be an expert performer, a high level performer, is going to know, dude. It's the same thing for jiu-jitsu, same thing for trading, same thing for game even. It's all reps. It's all reps, which I actually love, right? So here's how I broke it down, right? I was like, okay, I spent my late teens and early 20s getting obnoxiously laid, just to the point that it was hindering my success. I literally would just.
Oh, that was my problem with it too. It seems impossible. I don't know how these guys do it, where they work on their goals and they have 8 people bothering them on their text message. It wasn't working for me. It was okay. I did it for 7 years, so I guess it was working for me. But I guess I can't complain. But at some point, I was like, yo, I like my goals way more. Plus, at any point, your penis is going to fall off. So
here's what it was, man. When I was 20, when I was 18, I knew enough to know how to get $1 million by 25. So going into year 20, I was like, dude, I know that I could have $1 million by 25 if I do X, Y, and Z. Okay. Missed that goal by about 750 grand. Okay.
Well,
which not bad for, young 20s. I'm basically still like a monkey, dude.
Well, where did you get that information at 20? Because at 20, I was finishing university still, and I didn't have any such information. And I was 20. Where'd you get that?
Good question. So, funny enough, my parents didn't really let me have the internet until I was 18, which fair enough, probably a good thing.
I know what you would have used that for.
Yeah, well, I just wish that I would have had it sooner, because I would have found my way to business a lot sooner, rather than being well, let me think of all these hood rat ways to make money. So, yeah, it just came down to I got that information from fortune builders, actually. Way back in the day, they did a show on a TV show called A&E, and called Flip This House. Huge shows back when cable, YouTube, it was before YouTube. It was right when YouTube was getting big, and then into YouTube. And these dudes all went to Yale. These guys are just big ball and done hundreds, probably thousands of deals probably. And I went to a seminar, dude. I went to a seminar, and they brainwashed me, and it was great. And I was all for it. I was like, yeah, I do not need to go to fucking college at all. But I still didn't believe in myself enough to execute on these things, because for a variety of reasons. Right? Just, you're 18. I was 18 when I heard that. So fast forward, to 25, right? I had been continually going to all those things, the entire, but I've been over 50 live real estate events. That's how I did my first deals.
That's probably a lot more useful than college. I quite wish I didn't do my business degree and did something more useful with my life, to be honest.
If I shit you not, Pavel, had I had FBM or Brandon Carter thing or the Moneybird thing or any of these things at 18, and somebody, a mentor or even a parent, just said, hey, here's this, do this, and I just did that, I'd be a fucking billionaire right now, dude. I would have had so much money going into, and confidence going into Bitcoin, going into Facebook IPO, different investments that I just didn't have the courage to make along the way.
It's probably a good thing. I had the courage for Bitcoin, unfortunately. That was so
tell us
much
what you did
courage.
with Bitcoin, please.
Oh, dude, it's so funny. You're gonna laugh. So I went ahead and at the time put in. Well, you know me. You know how much I put in.
Oh, I
Everything
know
I
you,
have.
baby. Tell me that.
I've invested 3 times in my life. The first time was on Tesla, and I put in everything I had in 2016 when they announced. And I've never invested ever. Didn't know shit. All they said is we're releasing the Model 3. It's going to be affordable. I'm like, affordable Tesla? That's going to be sexy. So
Fair enough.
entire net worth, one stock.
I'm with it.
But it did nothing for a couple of years, so I sold it. Then second time was, Bitcoin is hot, entire net worth Bitcoin. And I heard you have to store it on an external wallet. And I was like, that sounds safe. And I should do that. But you know me, it's not my Russian heart is not with safety.
Oh,
okay?
you're Russian, you're Russian heart, bro. You're Russian nuts, as you said earlier to me over text. They don't know what risk is. They don't know.
Oh, they love it, man. So I was like, yeah, that sounds reasonable. I should probably do that. I'm not going to. So I just kept it on Canada's biggest exchange called Quadriga. Have you heard what happened with Quadriga?
What the fuck, bro? If I haven't heard of that, that's not good, dude.
The guy, he went to India. The owner of the Canada's biggest exchange went to India, died there.
Oh, I know that. Yeah. No, I heard of that one. Yeah.
Dude, I went to India. I almost died there. I totally understand how you can die there. So he died, and he somehow had like the encryption to the entire exchange or something absurd like that. So like he had like the password to Canada's biggest exchange. You couldn't log in anymore. Like that's how they explained it. I was like, what is the one guy have like the fucking password to the entire Canada's Bitcoin exchange? So he did, and all the money's gone. Me and my buddy, everything we held is not with us anymore. So what did I learn? Go all in again. Now I'm all in.
Yes. Pavel, you're a gangster, my guy. That's amazing, man.
I don't know, man. It's like I can't do any. It's either all in or I'm not doing it. I don't know. I can never.
I get that. Now, let's talk to people about this. So, one thing that I've heard over my many years of getting mentored by crazy people is one thing that they did say that really helped me was like, nobody at the top has made it to the top without making like gut-wrenching, embarrassing, heartbreaking fuck-ups and failures along the way. Like nobody, there's literally nobody like doing anything at a high level that has not made massive fuck ups, right? And then they told us a story about how a guy blew $1 billion on a shitty real estate project, like gone, like spent, like gone, like no more billion.
But how did he not get a return on that? How do you
know that? You can look it up and we could ask him, but just the gist of the story is something along the lines of that empty parking lot right next to Trump Tower in Vegas. It's that lot, and they were going to build some insane giant casino, and then crazy bullshit happened, and they fucked it up. So I would really can you tell people how you do it, Pavel? Because some shit like that would happen, bro, and they go jump off a bridge, like they would just like. Really, because dude, remember we recently heard of that one kid that killed himself off of a Robin Hood thing, right? He went in the red, like $700,000. He jumped in front.
But it actually wasn't. I looked in the situation. The poor guy, he actually wasn't in the red. Like he didn't actually owe the money. That's the worst part. Is he misinterpreted?
How did that work? I thought it was unrealized profit.
I don't know, man. Luckily I'm no options trader. Otherwise, I haven't quite learned that yet. But. Oh man, I saw a kid on Wall Street Bets. He went from 5,000 to 700,000, and then 2 weeks later back down to zero. That's my guy, man. That's my heart. I get that. That's
so, bro. Tell the people, bro. Tell what is
why
it?
I don't care.
How do you do it, bro? Because that shit would hit me hard. I would not be wanting to like still be standing. I'd be.
Oh well, okay, well. I think it's funny when you lose money, so maybe I shouldn't be an investor, but I find it quite humorous to go all in on things. And if it goes badly, it's just like, how could I be upset if I still have my arms that paint, I have my brain that paints. It's, dude, I can make a significant amount of sales in a year. If I'm missing money, I'll just focus on my brand, grow my following, make some interesting moves here and there, try some things. Who cares, man? There's millions of dollars left in the future. Why do I care if any year can be so much better than the previous year? Like, there was one year where I put in no effort in my art career at all. I just went to go live in Asia for 6 months, and I did, you know what I did probably, and it's fun times, and I didn't put any effort.
Don't put this on me, Ricky Bobby.
And I got those shitty Bitcoins, so it was like a horrible year where I made like minus fucking $1 billion, and then the next year I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. I just changed my behavior. I tried a significant amount of things, most of which failed, but the small percentage that succeeded made me do so much better than ever before. So in fact, when I lose money, I like it and I look forward to it, because the more money I have, the worse my chance for trying new things in my art career is. So I think subconsciously, why did I go all in on stocks just now? Is because I had way too much money from winning too much this year. And it was making me feel like I should maybe install some video games. I bought a VR headset. Cute cat. I got 2 cats. And I was feeling like, I don't need to do anything for the next fucking 4 years. So I was like, no. So I spent all the money on stocks. Now I don't have any. And now I'm much more interested again, and I'm going to try some new things. It's going to motivate me to do a mentorship program, for example, where multiple people will attend at the same time, kind of like what you and I are attending. That's not a move that I would be motivated to make when my bank account is out of control, So not only am I not afraid, I kind of like it, because I don't care what happens now when I'm so young. I'm much more interested in raising the power of my name and my career so high that it will be $1 million per painting. So who cares what I lose now? There's no world where I don't end up rich. It's not possible.
Dude, I think that's a fascinating way to look at it. Honestly, I think that literally, I think you gotta figure it out, because I'll say this, man. I do the same shit where I'm like, I don't really want to have more than like 10K on hand at any given time. That's just how I roll. I throw it all into stocks of the business, marketing, reinvest everything. I got a 10K cushion, which is like not really a cushion. That's not really anything.
I got $300 right now, bro.
What?
You don't know how to be Russian, man. You're not from the motherland.
No, dude, I'm not. I'm not from the motherland, man. Should I YOLO the 10K too?
Dude, try it. It's funny, dude. When you have a massive rent and you got $300 left, it's funny. Try it.
Oh my god! Yeah, I'll go live under a bridge for a week and drink Russian vodka. Just try it.
It's so funny, dude. I YOLO'd all my money into stocks. I applied for a credit card that I like at Costco. They denied me for the credit card because they think I'm poor. I've never been denied for a credit card before. They think I'm a peasant. It's very funny. You should try it. It's very humorous.
That sounds like a good time, man. I mean,
but it's like, when you have a skill, right? Why be afraid? Like, I have a specific skill that's gonna stay with me unless I lose both my limbs or both my eyeballs. So as long as you develop a rare skill that's difficult to replicate, not many people have, what is there to worry about? Except brain injury, then it's not going to be.
Wow, chronic disease, aging.
There's a lot to worry about. Yes,
wow.
So we should just ignore this. But you know what I mean.
No, I don't even have anxiety for the rest of the day, man. There's plenty to fucking worry about, dude. And I think that's a very important point to make as well. Because, like, dog, like, asteroid, meteor, whatever the fuck that just was, or my entire floor shakes. I don't know. Like, this is an old Federal Reserve building. I don't know if they're, like, shutting the vault. I don't know what they're doing, bro. But, like, you just never know, man. Anything could happen, right? Dude, I'll put it this way. This crossed my mind the other night, right? So when I was 8, I realized my heart, right? So a normal heart goes ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. You got your 2 heart chambers, right? Boom, boom. Okay, you go twice.
Yeah.
My heart will just fuck that shit and go ba, 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 ba. So it just straight up short circuits it. Like literally the electrical nodes in my heart short circuit. And it's called supraventricular tachycardia. Your fucking heart beats super fast. Well, that sounds nifty. You feel pretty weird. You're like, well, like, is my heart going to explode? Like, what the fuck is going on here? This is super weird. Like, it's a condition, right? It's not usually fatal. Thanks, doc. Like, yeah, gee, thanks. But like, imagine being, walking around at 8 years old thinking that like your heart's going to die.
Oh, actually, unfortunately, I'm aware of that because when I was born, I had to have surgery and I was 2 weeks old. I almost died. So my whole childhood in Russia, I was on the brink of dying, all feeble and shit. So unfortunately, I can kind of share in that experience, which is maybe part of the risk taking. Is it's like, well, I get to be alive after all that. So fuck it. It's bonus
I think
time.
It's perfect, bro. I think it was good for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's all time that wasn't granted. If you were born in another situation, a medical condition could have killed you as a child. We're lucky we even get to be alive. So worrying about something as unsubstantial as the loss of money, I can't do it. Plus, like believing that you have the possibility of failure is not something I can't do that. I don't know. I think I have some sort of brain damage where my whole life, anything I undertake, I simply can't understand that it could fail. Like, you just can't
I get
imagine.
that. No, I get that. I literally said that to my friend and client last night. He was like, he's got all these, bullshit thoughts that are like, I'm not good enough, this, that, and the third. He keeps saying, it's like, is this real with my business? Can it be this good? I'm like, I've never fucking thought that. Like, will it really work? Like, when I see something that's already working, I can see it. I'm like, I don't need to know any more than that.
Well, I kind of know what he means. It's like, it depends on when he started. I know that when I quit my marketing career and I went to go be an artist, within 6 months, miraculously, Time Magazine commissioned me the most important illustration of the year, the Time Person of the Year illustration of Putin. And I was like a nobody because I was 6 months in the game. I submitted the email to a phishing scams. I still kept answering. And then when it turned out to be real, I understand what that guy means. It's like, you've always wanted this, and they're literally giving it to you. And you're like, whoa, that's what I asked for. And most people, they work for 10, 20 years to get the Time Magazine thing. So that took me 6 months. So it was like, I get what he's saying. Like, sometimes it's too good, and it's like, wow, is this really happening? I thought I was in the Matrix or something. But now,
I was just trying to connect it to that point that you were making. That's just like I've never really thought that I would lose. Like I don't understand losing. I'm like, not that I don't, but it's just like if I set my mind to something, like there's no reality where I don't win.
Well, it's not possible. Like you might lose on a micro thing. Like you might lose on a specific project. Like I try a lot of things in my art. Like I submit to a lot of competitions. I won one yesterday. There was a award ceremony on Zoom. But I lose most of them just because that's how it works. And most things I try in my art career are a fail. Like a wide variety of projects. I contact celebrities, and sometimes it works out. Most of the time it does not. But I understand that while any specific task is likely to fail, in fact, more likely to fail than not, the overall victory is 100% promised. It's just specific tasks they'll probably fail. But you only need to, depending on what things you're doing, you only need one or two things to work, and you can go ahead and fail at like 20 other things.
I love that. I got two things for that, man. One of the favorite things I ever heard from Gary Vee was how he says you can basically try anything for 6 months. Like you can just go try 10 things for like 6 months, right? And it doesn't take that much time. Right? You can fail at 9 of them, and if you got the one thing that works, you're good. So that was one of my favorite things in entrepreneurship I ever heard. And then, oh dude, my other point's gonna slip my mind, but it's it's a matter of like taking sizable risk so that you right? Like I teach my students, right? Like no one trade should ever take you out of the game. Like no one trade should ever make you or break you, right? Like Pavel's cringing. He's like, what did you just
Let me get on your call. Let me set them straight, these students. Let me explain to them what you got to do.
Guest speaker Pavel.
Guys, here's what you do. You don't research the company. You buy it because somebody said it's good. And then you don't calculate how much percent of your portfolio the thing is. You just keep buying it when it goes lower. And the worse it does, just the more you buy. And don't look at the financials. Who cares about those? What a waste of time. That's what you do. Let me get on those calls. Let me explain to them.
Russian self-confidence, bro.
It's funny. I'm starting to opening up the financial statements, and for the first time, I'm starting to read all the things I actually already invested in as part of the homework that we're doing. So, doing it after the fact. That's. But earlier we were talking about trying things and failing and stuff. It's not even embarrassing when you fail. Like I tried to have a podcast. It was called the Creative Mastermind Show. So me and two other artists, we talked to artists about things, but we discovered that artists aren't great to talk to. They're not very fantastic podcast guests.
No way.
So, yeah, you'd be surprised. So that project, we held on to that for like 8 months or so, and then I closed it down. And I'm not embarrassed. We did a couple of good interviews. They're still on YouTube. Wasted some money. A lot of people liked it. Some people, I guess, didn't. Whatever, I learned. And now I can talk to you on this podcast and hopefully sound a little less retarded than if it was my first one.
No, man, I think your first of everything is supposed to suck. I don't think you get to do anything the first time and just be a genius at it and keep it up forever. Do you? What do you think?
I had a few things that the first time went quite well. It's a couple things.
Okay, hit me, dog.
Actually, funny enough, I don't know why, but for me, there is a huge element of beginner's luck. Like my very first investment was going all in on Tesla, and if I simply believed in my move, that would be up 1,000%. So that would be a couple million, which I don't have. So that's gone because I didn't believe in myself. Then when I did my first approach, that was first approach ever of my life, went perfectly fantastic. Literally the first one, no problem. Actually, I think there's a big element of beginner's luck. My first oil painting portrait from life ever went well, then all my next ones went shit. I actually think for me, I don't know, the first one is good, and then the next one's and then I have to go work my way up again.
So, it's a very interesting thing, man. Like, I consider myself to be one lucky bastard because I know my life, I know my story, I know like what's up. Like, I'm a lucky son of a bitch, and I've always kind of had a little bit of beginner luck going on. And it kind of gets to a point to where, and Owen actually talked about this in a very interesting way. He's just like, you can't get addicted to it being easy. and like you just you don't want to try anymore, right? And you just kind of fall off, right? And then you're like, oh fuck, I gotta try, and you pick back up, you sharpen the sword, and you get back at it.
That's exactly what happened in that year I told you about, where I decided I don't need to do anything in my art career, and I'm amazingly chosen art Jesus. Like,
Yes.
okay, because when I started, my first 2 years, I had more success than my instructors, and I was like brand new. I'm a fucking student, Time magazine cover. I literally thought I was some sort of Jesus that doesn't need to try.
Well,
So then life showed me, no, you're not Jesus. Here's you getting no commissions at all, and getting a lot of success in other areas that aren't financially helpful. And then here's you failing at Bitcoin. And Owen's totally right in that. You can't. That's why, once again, I said I kind of like having no money in my bank account, and it's not psychologically helpful to me when it's full of cash. So it's nice to go put it somewhere else and then feel the need to go get more. Because that feeling, I'm very prone to it. My whole life, I've felt chosen or special. I don't believe in God or anything, but if I did, I would think that God chose me out of everyone to go rule the planet. And yeah, it's just called brain damage, I think. But
yeah. I mean, I have it too, bro. I think, like, couldn't have said it better myself, man. Really, you got it. You covered it.
It's actually funny that I think having an unrealistic expectation of victory is a highly useful defect.
You don't fucking say.
I have very reasonable friends in entrepreneurship, a few artists, and they're all very reasonable and realistic. And I can see how they talk themselves out of a lot of stuff, and they do it in a way that makes complete sense. So they're like, well, look at other people. They weren't able to make money in art. Here's people not making money in art. Why would I make a graphic novel and it would get big? Here's a list of 1 billion people that are trying to do that. Yeah, but same with being an artist in general. It's like, when would you ever try to be a comedian if you're going to calculate the reasonable percentage of outcome for being a comedian? There'd be 0 attempts made if you had to use your rationality. So at some point, you have to do something highly unreasonable and statistically not supported. Otherwise, dude, the only thing you do is go be an accountant. It's like the only. So.
Or a professor, dude, or a fucking professor.
Yeah, that's why I have a weird relationship with, like, I love science. That's why behind me, I don't know how good the video quality is, but I have paintings of scientists because I started a series of, I'm not so impressed with the heroes we have for young people today, to be honest. Yeah. Now my favorite, I don't know if your podcast's about to go off the rails, but I'm not quite sure.
We'll keep it PG.
All right. Cancel. All right. But I like my heroes to be contributors, scientists, people that did something of significance. So I do love my science. I love reading my science books, but I feel like it just doesn't help when it comes to entrepreneurship or doing something big in your life. That rational part of your brain, I don't know, man. As an artist, it just doesn't work for me at all. I cancel all rationality. I just say I'm Jesus. And then I keep saying that to myself. And I keep pricing my artwork as if I am Jesus. And then people say, okay, fine. And then they buy it. And now that's the price of my artwork. And I went ahead and I skipped 40 years of working my way up to that price point. And I did that right away just by saying I just am. And also, I got my skill level up quite high.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're no bad artist,
No, but Phil, it's not even a rule because there's a lot of great artists that are quite skilled, but they take that slow stairs approach to. They're like, oh, I'm gonna work with the gallery. I'm gonna be the bitch there. They're gonna sell my thing for $500, and I'm gonna wait 20 years to have a good life. even though they're actually fantastic artists. And I found that to be highly unnecessary. So when I mentor artists, I tell them that you don't need to, you can deserve whatever life you want by simply making your artwork more valuable through the power of your skill, your training, and the effort you put into it. So you don't need to wait for somebody to give you something. Just get your skill level up in your unique skill and then price it accordingly. Doesn't matter if you're fucking 12. If you're skilled, you're skilled. Doesn't matter.
That's so hard, dude, because people, when they're younger, they don't have that kind of confidence. They don't understand that. And yet they are capable of it. They're actually capable. They have the bandwidth and the intelligence, if they have the tools. And I mean, bro, just think about if you had the opportunity to just work on what you are working on now, starting at age 10.
Ooh.
It would just be insane.
Oh, dude, I started late. I was 23 when I quit marketing. I was turning 24, so at the end of 23. And I felt like, oh my God, these kids have been here since 15 or something. And you know what? I had the sense of urgency because I was late. And I was like, I can do this. We got to go do this shit fast. I'm never going back to having a job ever again. But those kids, they actually didn't go on to win more than me or even close. And I think it was a missing sense of urgency. So there's a huge advantage to starting early, but then there's a pitfall where some of them run into where they're like, well, I've been doing this since I was 12 at a proper atelier with good training. I'm going to be fine. It's all good. And they get comfortable. They're not hungry. So I would say it's sick to start early, but even if you start late, if you can use your shame and self-hatred that you feel for that, if you're anything like me, your deep self-loathing that you feel for being 23 and only starting, you can parlay that into very quick results through a sense of urgency. At least that's how it was for me.
Oh, 1,000%. No, I agree completely, man. I think what we're talking about here is, and I actually had this thought just like walking down the street the other day. My brain is the fucking back of my head goes, yeah, if you're just the most insane person in the room, you can fucking, I forget exactly what the words were, but I kind of want to say the word like control, you can basically control everything in that room. If you're the most just insane fucking asshole in the fucking room, like,
oh man, I actually know exactly what you mean. I was in India and there was an Agori Baba guy. It's a tribe of people that eat dead bodies. They cover themselves in ash. It's out of control. And they're just fucking, they're pissing in their hand, they're shitting in their hand, they're throwing turds. And I noticed that when this is happening, the person is out of control and he does not care. I was like, that person is actually currently the most high status, most important person in the environment because we're all reacting to this guy and we're all subservient to his action. It's like what we're going to do depends on what he's going to do, not the other way around. And I had this same thought. I was like, oh, if you just don't give a shit, there is a lot of power in that. You can control a lot of situations. Not by being mean or throwing turds. I was thinking about what positive ways can we do that in?
Well, right, obviously being a leader. So it is. It's a very interesting characteristic. Something my dad definitely had. How or for what reason, I don't know, but he's definitely one of those types. And it's not pleasant to be on the receiving end of that if it's in a negative way, for sure. It's certainly not a fun experience. Yeah, I mean, how could you use that? Obviously out in the club, just in an appropriate sort of way by just saying kind of the right, like most crazy fucking things, but that are also like proper. Like you can really hit people and just really, they can.
You got to keep it very proper. That was my main focus back when I was doing it. It has to be proper. It has to be very upstanding. That was my
proper leopard hoodie. fucking bro. This is what happens to me on Friday, dude. I go so ham all week, dog. My attention span goes to shit on Fridays, dude. And my memory is just like, yeah, we need a nap, buddy. But you ever just go like I heard Travis say once. He was like, when you have problems forming thoughts, like that's when you need to like stop the work and like rest.
Stop working? Oh. That's happened to me a few times, but it's quite rare because I don't know. I really like my work. It's like not very stressful for me. It doesn't happen to me a lot. It doesn't drain me. I mean, just I'm doing only doing what I always dreamed of doing. It's all it is really. Just literally living my dream.
It's all right. So, do you think that this can be developed? Do you think that this insane asshole is something that, I mean, certainly, it could probably certainly be developed, but, to what level is it learned? To what level is it innate? And, how do you use it in your life, Pavel?
When I was younger, when I was first getting into self-development and listening to everything getting hyped up and stuff, I believe that anybody can do anything. And that's what I was telling everyone. People would make their excuses. I'd be like, no, you can fucking shut up. You can do anything. Like I'd have friends like, I want to be a race car driver. I'm like, yeah, but you're a mechanic. Like, what are you doing to go do that? He's like, oh, but it's hard. You have to be rich or something. And I'm like, well, okay, well, go. What are you doing to do that then? If that's and I really believed it. I gotta say, sorry to not be inspirational, but as I get older, I look at people and I'm not so sure that we're all born equal, man. I'm sorry. Wow. Sorry, man, but I can't answer any question not how I think. It's another brain damage. So I'm noticing, like, I started noticing it when I read a bunch of really cool books and I finished them and I lent them to a couple of friends of mine. It was a book called Incognito by David Eagleman, a neurosurgeon.
I read that book. I love that book.
It was one of the first books I ever read that got me excited for reading. I was like, oh my God, it's telling me about my brain, which we all have, hopefully. Like, how could you not? I was so interested in psychology. In university, I got 103% in psychology class. And I thought this book is so interesting. It's not difficult. It's not boring. It's not accounting. My friends are going to love this book. I give them this book to this couple I know. So the girl doesn't read it at all. The guy reads it a little bit and says it's boring. I'm like, learning about how weird your brain is boring? It's not relevant to you? And that's when I realized that people have a varying level of interest in life. I would call that life, or in knowledge, and they have also a varying level of interest in winning. Where for me, my whole life, even when I was in marketing, it was always around the necessity to be the number one at it. It was just the wrong thing to be number one at. I could have never been number one in that, but I still thought I could. So, and I've noticed that some people, they don't seem to need to be number one. I'm not even sure if that's a defect or not, because maybe all that means is they're satisfied with themselves as they are.
Which is bullshit. That's not real.
I mean, I don't love myself ever. I've never liked where I'm at ever. I never will. So I hate myself all the time. But I find that to be very useful for going ahead and growing. But some people, they're just happy with their financials. They're happy with not being famous. They're happy with their weight. And I don't even know if that's bad. Like, I should stop. I'm like, no, you should feel sad and you should hate yourself. And then
I think you should. I think if you're a sack of shit.
I like it. I like hating myself. It's fun. But some people are just fine. And those people they feel fine and they're good and they don't need to be like, I read Arnold's book, Total Recall, which is autobiography. I'm gonna paint Arnold, by the way, and send him a painting next month. I'm very excited for that. But he really inspired me because he was another guy that was a crazy thinker, irrational man who becomes a bodybuilder, which is fine because that makes sense. And then he went ahead and became a millionaire in real estate. Then he went ahead and said, well, I don't speak English properly. I don't look like a human, but I'm just going to go ahead and become an actor. Then he became the most successful actor, still can't speak English. Then he said, well, okay, that was cool. I just became the most successful actor. Let me go become the biggest politician I can be given my birth in Austria, which is that you can become a governor. You can't go above that if you're not born in the United States. And he did that. And I was so inspired. He became a millionaire by age of 21, I believe. He sold mail order VHS tutorials of bodybuilding, and he bought some real estate. And I read that, and I actively, when I was 21, I was like, I don't like myself because I'm 21, and that hasn't happened to me